Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Jazz Talk, my favorite segment of the show where I interview local jazz musicians. This week, we have, of course, Coby Mount. Coby, how are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing actually pretty good. How are you?
I'm nervous. I'm nervous and excited,
Yeah,
Coby.
I feel
I'm
that.
nervous and
I feel
excited.
that.
Well, I feel like we should really talk about a little bit of what's going on today. Of course, we have the Jazzy Fridays recording officially played. It's exciting.
Big day.
It's
Big day.
really exciting. But I guess first we should start off. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Coby Mount. I am a composition student here at West Texas A&M. I'm in my final year of my music education and composition degree. I have been composing for about 3 years now. And I think this is my second time here on Jazzy Fridays. I believe last semester was when we started kind of talking about this whole process of working with Jazzy Fridays, getting to write for them. And it's been such a great opportunity to get to work with these two guys. I've really been able to enjoy it, getting their feedback. And so, yeah, I am very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, dude. Of course. Well, I think first off, I want to get into your composition. Of course. When did you start getting into writing music and stuff like that?
So when I was in high school, I wasn't necessarily into writing music, but a big thing that I was into was I liked to arrange music for pre-existing mediums and put it kind of in the medium that I was exploring music in, which was, of course, my band program in high school, band and orchestra specifically, actually. And I didn't really ever get into writing my own music until I was in college. Once I got into college, I had some friends that I met, namely my friend Joshua Carrillo, him and some others were kind of the ones that influenced me to start expressing myself.
I see, yeah.
Through composition, because I've always enjoyed the idea of writing music, enjoying having written music, so to speak, but it's not really something that I knew how to do, and it just wasn't really something that I understood.
I see, yeah.
And it wasn't until I had encouragement from those people that I was able to finally get the ball rolling on that. I started taking lessons my junior year of college, and it's been pretty fun. When it comes to jazz composition, I have a little bit less experience than everything else, but with that in mind, I was super excited to get to tackle the Jazzy Fridays theme because I've been able to study a lot on a lot of jazz orchestration and just technique in terms of how I want to express my own compositional voice through a different style of music that I've never really gotten to explore a whole lot before. And so I'm very happy with the end result, and I'm very I'm very excited.
Yeah. Well, I have a few questions about your composition. So when you're writing a new piece, so I know you've written pieces for big band, for horn choir, quintets, and stuff like that. How exactly do you come up with these ideas? I know you don't just like randomly just know the whole piece in your mind. So how's the creative process of writing these pieces like?
Well, I think that a big part in the creative process for anybody, not even just music, but any sort of artistic endeavor in general, is the rule of thumb is definitely you are what you eat. That's definitely a big part of it, is that what you regurgitate as an artist is definitely going to be rooted in things that you interact with outside of your own creative process. For example, I may not have always written music, but everyone listens to music every single day. I've always listened to music, and the music that I've listened to throughout my entire life has definitely made an impression on me in a certain way, in the same way that music makes an impression upon all of us, and it kind of gives us certain assets to our identity, I think. And so a big part of what I write is just kind of rooted in what I've listened to. But I also think that there's a big part of the writing process also comes from just kind of the diligence of, you may not necessarily have to be inspired to have like the best idea for a piece every time, you know what I mean? Sometimes you can get a you can just become randomly struck with a great idea that you think could be executed flawlessly for a specific medium, and it comes out super well in the actual creative process and it's received well, but not every creative endeavor is going to be like that. And there are definitely going to be some times where you have to generate material even if it's not something that you've meditated on for a super long time, or even if it's not like something that just strikes you in the middle of the day. I don't remember which comedian it is, but there's a comedian that said, or was asked, like, how do you write your jokes? And it's like, well, I only write jokes when I'm inspired. Fortunately, I get inspired every day at 3 o'clock.
I see.
They just like put themselves in the spot to be creative, and giving themselves that opportunity rather than just waiting for opportunity to strike. And I think that is definitely something that I try to adhere to in my own creative process, is just being diligent about sitting down, making time to explore these ideas and write music rather than waiting for the opportunity to come to me.
I see. Awesome. Yeah. So I know you're a composition major. Where do you see your future in that? Do you see yourself someone as like John Mackey writing all these band pieces, or do you see yourself more like John Williams writing scores for movies, or just making entire symphonies, I guess? Where exactly do you want your end goal to be?
It's hard to say. I definitely do. I would definitely would like to pursue a future in writing music, for sure. But there's a lot of different avenues that you can take within that field. And I guess ultimately it's just going to depend on where I end up. Currently, I'm applying for several different master's programs in Texas and otherwise. Depending on what program I'll get into, it will probably funnel me into a specific direction. I've always enjoyed the idea of writing music for different mediums. For film or TV show or video game, or in this case, like a radio show. So this is actually a big step in that direction that I'm very grateful for. But also just writing music in the concert tradition, so to speak, just writing sheet music, publishing the sheet music, distributing it, and giving it to performance ensembles, big or small, to perform. That is definitely something that I'm also interested in, because I think that I think that I have a lot of value that I could bring to that medium personally, and I've been able to collaborate with a lot of people already on that. And so definitely something in terms of writing music, composing in some way. But in terms of what direction, it's hard to say right now, but I have some preferences.
Well, I hope for the best for your future, Coby.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm really impressed with what you make. Everything I've played of yours is really, really impressive.
Thank you. You've actually gotten to work on quite a bit of my pieces,
stuff,
classical and jazz. So I'm very grateful for that.
Well, now we can get into a little bit of the actual theme from Jazzy Fridays. So, of course, when you offered the idea to me, I of course told you to kind of base it off Giant Steps, try to get inspiration from that. But what other pieces really inspired you to make Jazzy Fridays sound like the way it is?
So, when you gave me the Giant Steps influence, it was very striking because I love Giant Steps. I love John Coltrane. I think that the impression that I got from that inspiration was it was definitely like a big task, because when preparing for this composition, there were a lot of things that I had to consider. One of them was the ensemble. The ensemble made up the 3.14 big band. Love those guys. They are the best. Which is a community group. It's hosted by Phi Mu Alpha, our chapter here at West Texas A&M, but it is open to pretty much any student here at the school with any sort of musical ability. Plenty of people who are not in the chapter perform in the big band, and it is much more inclusive than it is exclusive, which is, I think, a great trait about the big band, and I think something that really gives it a lot of identity. And I think that was a really important decision, or just a really important factor in my decision, in all of my decisions when writing the piece. The thing about Giant Steps in particular that I think is really interesting is it's very complex in its harmonic progression. I don't want to like explain the whole Coltrane matrix on your radio show, but just the way that he's harmonizing this progression and the way that he's moving from chord to chord in the writing, it is very, very complex. And I mean, personally speaking, as a 23-year-old college musician, I can count on one hand the amount of musicians that I know that that actually have experience in improvising over Coltrane's changes. And especially for a community-driven band, I think one of my biggest concerns was putting the, putting the responsibility of such like a heavy, like theoretical exercise in performance on a group of people that are really just there for a sense of community. And so the influence from Giant Steps that I took in the composition is not necessarily super apparent in the surface level. I think a big comparison that a lot of people have made, like Emmanuel Garcia, he was on this show before. He made the comparison to Tenor Madness, and I think that is the perfect. I think that's the perfect comparison because it's the same. It's the same blues, the same progression. The melody is a little bit similar, and this was kind of on purpose because I think Tenor Madness is a really important tune to all of us here at West Texas A&M. Personally speaking, I don't know if you guys can relate. Tenor Madness was the first tune that I ever took a solo on here at West Texas A&M. It was through like this just community jazz thing, or just a jazz band event at the end of my first semester here at West Texas A&M. And so the first time I ever took a solo was on Tenor Madness. And so I always associate that tune with being just like a very accessible, approachable tune that anyone can get into and just really enjoy and celebrate the blues. I mean, it's time tested for a reason. So that is kind of one of the more upfront inspirations that I took for this composition. But Giant Steps kind of finds its there's some specific language and some of the background figures and some of the like soli lines that I listened to some John Coltrane, and I listened to the entire Giant Steps album in preparation for this, just to see where I could kind of put some ideas. Some of these sort of licks are just random ideas present in his recordings that I could maybe use for this composition. So some of it is a little smaller, and it may not be apparent to the naked eye, but it definitely is there, and it was definitely at the forefront of my thought when writing this whole piece.
I see. Yeah. So I know we got into a little bit about improvisation. So of course the Jazzy Fridays piece, half of the song is actually just improvised solos. What was your decision in making the piece mostly just improvised solos throughout the whole thing? I know there's 3 solo sections in it throughout the whole thing, but what was your decision making? What was your idea of having so many open solos for people to play?
Well, I think that the way that I use solos in the composition kind of varies from each step. The first solo section is it's a stop time lead in, and that was to give Orlando the opportunity to kind of just lead us into a solo section. Orlando Moreno, great tenor sax player, love that guy. But a big reason why I wanted to emphasize a lot of solo opportunities for people is that, again, this experience that we're having working on the theme for Jazzy Fridays in the big band is a community-led experience, and a big part of my experience with the 3.14 big band during my time here at West Texas A&M has just been holding up that sense of community that we have and just really having a good time with all of our friends, just making music together at and holding that as like the forefront of our goal in the group. And a big part of that is individual expression for some people. There are definitely some leaders that really want to express themselves in a more individualistic way. And I think that it would be a shame not to give those opportunities. So I have 3 kind of different solo sections within the piece, but they're all kind of used in different ways. The first one is a pretty open, just kind of typical solo section where 2 people kind of take a solo. It's over the blues progression 4 times, so this one is actually a little bit longer than the other solo sections. And to compromise this, we have less people taking a solo on this. The second solo section is more of a like a stop time individual feel. You'll kind of notice at the start of every person's solo in the second solo section, after the solis, the sax soli and the trombone soli respectively, the band kind of does these cuts at the start of every solo to really emphasize the soloist's voice. And so those are a little bit more impressionistic background figures, I would say. They kind of make more of an impression upon the sound. And because of that, I chose to make this solo section shorter.
Yeah.
And this is where we see a lot more people soloing. And the final solo section of the piece is actually not necessarily a traditional solo section, but it's a ending vamp, so to speak. When writing for this, another big thing that I was considering was, this is a radio show. What can I do to make the process of incorporating this music into a radio program easy? And a big thing that I decided to maybe incorporate was an ending vamp, where you can basically loop the ending as long as you need to, and basically extend it for as long as you guys would need to in order to end the program. And so in order to simulate this in the composition, it's just a repeat of the head of the tune in a different key 4 times, but after each repeat, there's a new soloist coming in, soloing on top of the head of the tune. And this kind of creates this big, hectic, in-your-face sound, kind of similar to like the sound of like Pharoah Sanders or Charles Mingus. And it just creates this really rowdy energy that I think is a really good send-off to the piece. And I think it probably ended up being one of our favorite parts of recording it. I know a lot of people definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, we have 4 minutes left before we're...
Oh, dang, I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. Perfect timing. Well, I think we're going to use these last 4 minutes to... I kind of just want to talk about... of course, you wrote the piece, but Jazzy Fridays has such a deeper meaning to me overall. I think you captured the essence of Jazzy Fridays perfectly in this piece. As you said, there's a lot of soloists, and you said it gives chance for people to like portray themselves, like show what they're capable of, right? And that's kind of what this show really is. It boils down to, right? Obviously, I have special guests every week, and I just like getting everyone's point of view of music because it affects everyone so much, right? And it's just, I don't know, it's just awesome. And of course, at the very end, when everyone's playing and vamping and it's just loud and whatever, it just reminds me a lot of the show, because no matter how chaotic it is, it's still built on this love for music, right? Even though sometimes the show doesn't make sense, or just things are always happening, it's just everyone's coming together to create this thing. And that's why I love the genre of jazz so much, because it's so much about community and all this stuff, and that's what the big band is, and that's what Jazzy Fridays really is. And it's just something, and the piece is so catchy, and it's been stuck in my head all day. I've been thinking about it nonstop, and
a lot of people have told me that it's very catchy,
and seeing everyone,
and that's really good, I think.
And seeing everyone so excited about the piece, excited that they got to play in it, excited about the opportunity they got to, of course, play in the piece and have a professional recording. It's just really, although we live in Canyon. The Jazzy Fridays is not as massive as it can be. It really does truly feel like we're doing something, you know? God. Oh, God. It really feels special, Coby. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I'm really, really grateful that you guys gave me this opportunity. And I know you guys poured your heart into this. I mean, you guys are both wearing the Jazzy Fridays jerseys.
But yeah, I think you captured the essence perfecly.
Thank you so much. I'm really, really grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm excited to listen. We have just a minute left, really. And I hope everyone really likes it too. I think it captures the show perfectly, and it's like the show's like my little baby, right? It's my brainchild. But yeah, I think it's time to play it, Coby. I think it's time to just play the piece.
Let's send it.
All right. Well, here's the theme from Jazzy Fridays for the first time ever, live right here on KWTS 91.1 FM. Everyone, please enjoy. We'll catch you on a little bit.
You know how many eyes I saw in the grand cumulative amount of... Yeah, it was like 2. It was like these 2. It was like 2 people. I don't know. So just watch.
Wow. Wow. Kobe's gone now. Wow, dude. It's unbelievable. It's really insane. It doesn't feel real still. I have no words really. I'm just speechless entirely.
Yeah, this is Elliot here. I just walked in from the studio, had to drive from Amarillo, but I thankfully caught Coby's interview there, and obviously the new Jazzy Fridays theme. And going through my mind, I think Kevin kind of hit the nail on the head by saying it's just that is Jazzy Fridays, where everyone gets a moment to shine, and then when you reflect on it as a whole, you know, like I think it was a post that you'd made, Kevin, where I saw all the Polaroid pictures that we've done.
Yeah.
And the first thought was, okay, well, we're going to have to get a new board.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
And my second thought was just, wow, like, look at all the people that we've had on this show that have made a contribution. And I don't know if you feel this way, but there's sometimes where, you know, I go back and I watch a certain interview just because I remember something that was said that I liked so much and that I found personally just really inspirational. So I'll like go back and listen to certain interviews that we've had, which is one of the reasons I love that it's on YouTube now.
Yeah.
So that we can find all that. But I think that the music that Coby has written and that the big band has performed really just encapsulates all that. How much of a community we're building here. And honestly, the show, a lot of the stuff that we've done, it wouldn't have been able to be possible without the community members that we've had. And, you know, a lot of it, I think, is also just props to you, Kevin, because I remember when this was kind of more of like a pipe dream, less or so for you.
Yeah.
And just made it happen. So it's just really cool to be in this moment and see where we're going from here.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge moment. I think it's definitely one of our biggest moments in the show ever. Of course, we had big moments already, like Summer Jazzy Fridays, which has never happened before. But now we have a whole original piece to a little college radio show. I don't know. It's just strange to reflect where I was a year ago compared to now. A year ago, it was this tiny idea. You know, I would mess up simply unmuting my microphone, simply misclicking something, and stuff like that. To now turn into this behemoth of a project, really. It's definitely one of the things I spend most of my time on throughout my week. It's also the main thing I talk about, really. Like I said earlier with Coby, it's truly this show is truly my child. Like, there's no other way to put it. It's weird. I'm so proud of what we accomplished already, and it's barely a year old. It's not even a year old yet, and it's just crazy to think about. It's crazy to think we still have so much more planned too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I said a lot of the stuff I really wanted to say already. Well, I guess we could start thanking everyone. Well, first and foremost, I want to thank Coby Mount himself for creating this amazing piece of music, which will forever live in this radio station and on YouTube and forever. And then, of course, I want to thank the big band itself for performing this piece, all the great musicians. If I could name everyone individually, I could. Of course, just Phi Mu Alpha in general, I want to thank them for not only being our underwriter, but, of course, providing the band for us. I want to thank Taylor Martindale. He was over here earlier for, of course, designing the sound, you know, setting up all the microphones and whatever. Yeah, there he is out there. He just did a little happy jump. I, of course, want to thank Tate and Hunter, which is our general manager and our production here at KWTS, for how much trust they put into me and how much they appreciate my effort. I want to thank Dr. Michael McFarland, Mr. Randy Ray, Veronica Torres for, of course, being my mentors and really pushing me to do all these crazy projects. I want to thank all our previous guests for, of course, being our guests and having something to talk about and really helping me learn about this genre. Of course, I want to thank all the faculty that have taught me so much about jazz and about music. I want to thank the School of Music in general. I want to thank the Department of Communication here at WT. I just want to thank WT in general. If I never came to WT, this show wouldn't have existed. And I want to thank everyone that listens to the show weekly or just supports us through social media or through just listening to the radio station. It's really I'm really glad of seeing how many people really like the show and how many people really support it and what it's doing for the community. It's a small impact, but there is an impact which has never been done before that the show provides. Do you have any thank yous, Elliot?
I mean, I agree with all of your thank yous for sure. And that's, I mean, just listening to it, it is a lot of people that have helped make all of this possible. I really, there's a couple of interviews that we've had along the way that I feel were kind of like milestones for us. Also, no pun intended. I'm not talking about the Miles Davis piece milestones. But like, I know, I just always think of when we had, like we started getting professors from the School of Music to be on the show, and that was a really big thing for us. And we've had Sean Vokes on the show, and that was really cool as well. And it's just stuff like that has kept us really just excited about this. And I think that we just want to continue to have more guest artists on to talk about their music, and also we've kind of gotten into this groove of recording live music.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where we really want to start going, is where we're getting more of the live music that's performed in the Canyon Amarillo area. We're giving it more of a platform as we go forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really cool to see where everything's at. And it's like you said, I mean, it's like less than a year, and this is what's happened. So I'm just looking forward to everything else, because I know that we're both going to be at WT for a while.
A little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. But yeah, that's great.
I think, yeah. Well, it's kind of hard to continue the show after that. But I don't know. I guess, what's a good song to play? In a Sentimental Mood?
I suppose, yeah.
I suppose that would be a good piece to play. I right now, it's a special moment or a sentimental moment if I'm playing zero background music right now. It's just our voices. That's how you know it's a true sentimental moment. So I think, it would fit with the theme. Let me search it up.
Yeah, and of course we got Elliot Sight Reads coming up in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we had Coby on the show again. Also, I'm pretty sure he's our only person that's been on here like twice as like an actual artist, and not just like a fill-in kind of thing. So that's really cool. But yeah, so I got some readings on Duke Ellington coming up because I thought, jazz composition, we might as well talk about who I consider to be the most creative and just kind of prolific jazz composer and arranger of all time, which is Duke Ellington. So going to talk about him on Elliot Sight Reads today and recommend some good music.
Yeah, there we go. Well, then first question I have for you, should I play, and I'm playing In a Sentimental Mood, should I listen to Ella Fitzgerald, Sonny Rollins, or Duke Ellington? Which one? Which one fancies? Which one do you fancy?
I kind of am feeling this Sonny Rollins one today.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Obviously, the show's not done yet. We still have a whole hour left, basically. But yeah, we have the theme song. We're halfway to being completely professional. Who knows? Well, I should stop talking right now. I should just play music. We can have a little talking segment at the end. But thank you everyone for tuning in to Jazz Talk, where I interview local jazz musicians, and thank you everyone for tuning into the premiere of the theme from Jazzy Fridays. Make sure to go watch the music video on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram right now at Jazzy Fridays on everything. Yeah, it's awesome. Go promote it. Go like it up. It's awesome. We put a lot of work into it. So many people put so much work into it. But anyways, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you all in a little bit. We'll see you.